and it by saying YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another Power Creep podcast on the day of the update with my co-hosts. We got Tweaks.
What up, fellas?
And Demos the Demented Panda.
Oh no, it's me.
We made it. We're missing one. Crypt Man is head deep in Elden Ring right now. So we don't know if he'll jump in. He might jump into the chat. You'll see his name pop up if that's the case. But today is Monday, not the traditional day that we host these podcasts. Because I guess there was a Japanese holiday. There was a JP holiday last week, which kind of made this update kind of funky. And here we are with another collab, everyone. How long? Vagabond just subscribed. Welcome. How long has it been since Attack on Titan? Do either one of you know exactly?
I'm trying to black that out from my memory.
Trying to black it out.
Close the last collab was this.
I don't think we've had, unless FMA and Nier were this close together. I mean,
it was about a month ago. Seriousness, it was what, the 10th? The 10th was when Merity came out. Ship Merity, so 2 weeks before that.
So the end of
January, let's say January 20. Let's just mark down January 26th.
Literally a month.
Yeah.
So that's a very tight turnaround. I'm trying
Same
to
thing
remember.
they did the first time with Slime.
Is it? Is that what they did? I wasn't around then.
It was literally Slime then ReZero. They were like a month apart, maybe.
Okay, so this isn't like brand new speed.
Yeah, they did.
Slime and ReZero were much further apart, but yeah.
No, not really. Milim dropped October 6th. Lagrabos October 13th. August 6th. August 13th for Lagrabos. August 27th for Lukiel. September 9th for BB Shin. And then September 30th for Emilia.
Yeah, so like almost 2 months.
It was 6 weeks. It's a month and a half.
It's literally 7 weeks.
All right. So, what about 5.5? 5.5 and
no, it's 7 weeks.
5 and 3, 3 days. Anyway,
Anywho,
yes. This is a very tight,
pretty quick turnaround, collab to collab. I mean, yes, it's not a new collab, so like I guess short,
right?
But it's still redone.
I mean,
as well.
And you know, a lot of people do bring that up. It's like, dang, we got the collab at the beginning of the year, followed up by another collab, and then we have the anniversary approaching. What the heck, Adis? But you mentioned DMC. I was going to mention that this is not abnormal compared to last year's schedule. We also had a new collab and a collab rerun and the Valentine celebration all before the anniversary.
And then a rerun, and then 2 more DOH, and then April 15th shows up. We get another DOH for Annie, and then we have.
Yeah. So if you thought that like there was a break to build up your crystals before the anniversary,
nope.
Adis did not schedule that out.
I mean, and that's the thing. Right after, like, we expect more units again. Like,
well, yeah. Not to mention,
when we come out of this, it'll be March 15th, right? March 16th or March 15th, whatever. Probably a new unit. Like, let's be honest. They're coming out of AOT Collab. Shift Merity came out immediately after.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's 4 weeks until anniversary. They're probably going to stick 2 units in between there.
Yeah, I was looking back at last year. We had Shift Zekis and a Grog. Not underhyped units in the slightest.
Yeah.
So
if you like units and arcs every single week, here we are.
I'm going to pray for you. If you are being the strongest willed Last Cloudia player in existence, you're adamant about saving for the anniversary, I'm just going to hope that we don't get another character like Shift Kyle on the anniversary. But that's just me. That's my warning, that the anniversary is not like a guaranteed over the power creep unit, as we've seen before.
Definitely not.
So while the anniversary is usually, it's generally good advice for gacha games and mobile games, right? That's the big celebration. Typically, a lot of games follow that format, that the best things come out around that time. Last Cloudia, in my opinion, has not followed that mold. But I've only been around a year.
Just be as expected. What's coming after anniversary? Like, and that's the thing. It's hard to play this game whenever you're thinking of what's coming next, right? If you're having
you can't
the pre FOMO, like
yeah,
you can't. And you're right, you can't play that way at all.
No.
Just be excited with what's here, what you're gonna enjoy the game. And you can't have regrets, or else you're just gonna have a terrible time.
Yeah, I mean, go for what you like. Don't worry about what's around the corner, because we never know. It might be better, it might be worse. There's no way to know.
There isn't. The only way to know is to stay tuned, subscribe to your boy Buddha and Tweaks, and just wait for our little showcases. That's all you gotta do, and you'll be set. Anyway, I think that's enough of a little intro segment. We've got a new character on the screen, guys. Before we get into performance, can we just appreciate Demon Lord Rimuru? He's a dope dude.
Yeah, the art's pretty dope. I like the art.
I think the majority, and Demos, I know you're a rare breed, the majority have watched the Slime collab, Demon Lord Rimuru, very hype character. A lot of people are just pulling on him for the hype alone because he's a fan favorite. And I mean, the artwork, Last Cloudia doesn't disappoint. The pose, the sitting, it's clean. I have it set as my home screen. He's dope looking.
And you know what the colors in the art here is?
Oh, that's Tweaks right there.
What?
The purple, the blue.
Oh, dude, spot on. But this setup right here is reminiscent of one of the best scenes in the anime itself, of like when he's like powering up and stuff. So like the colors just straight up. I mean, it just reminds me directly of one of the best scenes in the entire season, like the second season. So, yeah, art's on point. They knew exactly what they were doing. It's not hard
absolutely. I still need to watch the Slime anime season 2. I think I'm gonna try and do that on Twitch and do like live reactions to episodes with anyone who wants to come watch with me, because I know that's a thing that creators do sometimes. So I think it'd be fun. Test it out. Keep y'all posted on whenever that happens. So
actually, you know what, Bood, before we get into him, I would love to just ask, how did your polls go?
Oh, you want to know?
I just want to preface this. I hate you.
Before we jumped into the podcast, Tweaks, I think every other sentence was just, I hate you, Buddha. I hate your pulse. And
he's very spiteful today for some reason. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I wonder why, right? So, as epic as my pull was in terms of just sheer luck in a 10 spin, if you haven't seen that video, post it up at 6:30. Go check it out. I cannot take the crown as the luckiest person in the room right now, because Panda, in 3 summons, like literally 1, 2, 3 orbs.
Oh, the 3
orbs. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He got dementia.
That was step 2, right?
Step 2 of the first lap, right? The 3 pull paid. I'm guessing you had a little bit of paid gems left over.
Yeah, like 500.
500 paid gems. This man pulled the Arc and Rimaru in the 3 pull step.
Yeah.
So,
and that's funny because like I'm salty, but like I'm not that salty. Like when we were talking before, like I got both very quickly. Didn't go past 25 paid credentials at all because one of his is actually not that great. And then just used free multis that I had left, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, anytime you can get away with not spending any money, especially as a veteran, it's a good time. So, yeah. I think all of us, luckily, didn't hurt too bad to get this guy. And should we then segue into your initial impressions, Tweaks? Because I think you have I know, Panda, you've been messing around with him.
Yeah, why don't we talk about what we expected from him, right? After seeing the showcase, after seeing what we wanted to test, right? And I think one of the biggest drawing points to him is that when we looked at how his skills worked, his S1 being pretty sample, sure, his S2 being a pretty good gather, sure, but his S3 was the biggest drawing point to me. How big is the AoE? Instant, persistent, what is it? And how's it going to interact with the battle map? Because one thing we've seen in the past is, and one thing we've wanted since it's dropped, has been Roy's S3. And there's been literally nothing that has happened, or no unit that has dropped that has been able to match it. So we were hoping, as and I'm assuming others did as well, being slime of the anime fans, thinking that his S3 called Megiddo would be absurdly wide AoE. Unfortunately, it's not that way.
Not at all.
So, and I come in, and that's one of the things that I come in with high expectations, hoping that it's going to be high, and that's where you need testing, right? From the video, it looks really, really good. And if you start noticing the video that they give, you start noticing a little bit things that give you a clue to maybe it's not as big as you think. That's what you said. But then yeah,
Tweaks is a child. Everyone, it's
in testing, didn't pan out to the way I would have loved to see it. And that's coming from a huge slime fan. This is one of my favorite animes that I've ever seen, and I'm not a huge anime fan in general, but one of my favorite shows that I've seen. So I was hoping for a Demon Lord Rimuru to be, absolutely disgusting. Meanwhile, he's very good. He's just not as broken as I wanted him to be, right?
Just to clarify, this is no way saying that his S3 is bad.
No, not by any means.
It doesn't compete with Roy, which is
that's a tough mark to
super
me.
unfair comparison.
It's so unfair. It's so unfair, but when I had, and myself, and I'm sure I'm not alone, had high hopes for that.
I did a whole community post about it.
I just don't want people watching this and saying, "Oh, wow, well, he must suck." No, that's not the case. It doesn't suck. He doesn't compete with Roy in that aspect. So no one can.
No one can.
Not a fair comparison.
It's not at all.
We did the typical assuming, and you guys know the saying, right?
I don't know the saying.
Okay, Tweaks. Why don't we get on with this kid?
Anywho, so Demon Lord Rimuru Tempest is the new unit that just dropped, and we'll go with the arc afterwards. But he's pretty good. He's a non-attribute attacker on every single one of his skills. His ult, he's ranged on 2 of his skills. He has a gather that gets you HP. He's an extremely good unit. Being just straight up from being non-attribute and then being boosted to certain weakness from attribute weaknesses based on which skill he's using, I like it a lot. He has some really good defensive capabilities. I mean, he's a good typing for arena. He's a damn good unit. But
he has a lot of stuff going for him.
He's got a lot of stuff.
He does. He does. I see that he has no elemental weaknesses, which is kind of cool.
Not
a big deal.
Have some stuff on him, so let's
JK.
Let's just remove.
I jumped the gun, guys. I'm so sorry.
So he doesn't, but he does have 15 light res.
Got it. He's neutral.
He doesn't have any weaknesses at all, which is cool. But you can obviously bump that up a little bit. But let's talk about his skills, because he's a non-attribute attacker.
Yeah, let's clarify these.
Actually, before we get there.
Okay.
He has a lot of things in his kit. One thing to clarify before we get into him. He can be built a couple of different ways. And by a couple of different ways, I mean with each stat. So there's stats, strength and intelligence. We have such things as strength-based physical DPS and intelligence-based physical DPS. He has multipliers in his kit, such as Thaumaturgy Ring, Auto Aura, stuff that boost his intelligence, but a lot of new players and a lot of players who don't know necessarily everything about the game, right? That just because he's building intelligence does not mean he's a magic user or can't be built strength. what you're looking at is he is a physical DPS, but he has the ability to transfer his intelligence into using, boosting his physical attacks that way. You obviously don't have to build him intelligence, but he absolutely he benefits from building an intelligence build as well as being build strength. So just don't, when you think of intelligence, don't always immediately think mage. So just getting that out of the way.
Yes.
But he is a physical DPS, non-attribute attacker. One thing that confused many, many people is one of his traits. And why don't we talk about that first? His trait 1, sure, no attribute damage plus 50%, damage cap plus 8,000. When an enemy has a specific attribute weakness, skill damage plus 40%, damage cap plus 5,000, skill 1 fire, skill 2 dark, skill 3 light. What does this mean really in that second part of like skill 1 fire, skill 2 dark, skill 3 light? That means whenever each one of those skills is attacking an attribute weakness, his no attribute damage is boosted. Okay, with cap and damage boost.
I like it.
It is not a conversion at all. His abilities and his skills will remain non-attribute. That just means that during his S1, his Inferno for fire, that's going to be getting boosted damage during fire. His S2 for dark, his S3 for light. So a 100% non-attribute attacker. No attributes involved. But he gains boosted damage and cap. So I feel like that's a pretty cool thing. Essentially that 40% damage, it makes it as if you're attacking a minus 40 res enemy.
Right. Yeah, I like the way you put that. I saw you say that in Discord.
Right.
At some point,
even if they're minus 10 res, it's essentially like you're attacking, because the non-attribute's always going to be hitting neutral against. But since it's plus 40% damage, a normal conversion would be a minus 40 elemental resistance.
It's like a super weird way to give no attribute some sense of a weak point boost.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I absolutely love how they did that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan as well.
It's just really refreshing to see them adding, elemental weaknesses in such a way that it doesn't hinder the unit's kit itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
like it.
I give credit to the pioneer of such a mechanic.
Merity?
No, hell no.
Base Merity was the first one with an actual good conversion, so we've come a long way since then, which is kind of nice.
That is true.
And obviously this isn't conversion, but just getting boosted damage for specific and niche scenarios, then yeah, I like it a lot. But let's talk about his S1, because his S1 is actually one of my favorite skills.
It's so nice.
On honestly, a lot of units, sure. It's I can't really what it's like really. What other skill in the game would you say it's like?
It's like Ed's S1.
Ed's S1? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Like Ed's S1, it's extremely spammable. You can pump it out there. It doesn't have the biggest AoE, but it pierces the entire map. Yeah, Ed's S1, that's fair. I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. Non line of sight, ranged, just pump it out. It's not the greatest wave clear or anything, but you can do it from anywhere. Gluttony, this is an interesting skill. It is going to be non-attribute, and it absorbs 3% of the damage's HP. So if you're capping out at 20k or 30k, let's just go with 20k. That 3% of damage's HP is going to be 600 HP per hit. Now, it being 12 hits, 24 dual wield, that's going to be over 14,000 HP per skill use. If you're capping, of course. So that's just another way of regen for him. If you are in a scenario where no crits or Proud Force isn't really working that well, instant regen. Megiddo, this is the main skill in question. His S3, wide area, long range combo attack. I was hoping this was the entire freaking map, but it's a little bit smaller AoE than I think S-Bet's S3, or not S-Bet's, X-Bet's, Christmas Lilibet's S3, which makes it also not a great wave clear either, because you're gonna have to use 2 skills for most mob maps. And of course, it still will work on there's 4 enemies and they're super close together. But those enemies or those maps where they're 5 or 6 super spread out, it's not gonna hit them all. But yes, a very, very, very good skill. He doesn't need to move at all for this. Non-line of sight, ranged, persistent, instant. It checks off a lot of ticks off of most of the extremely good AoE, big AoE damage skills in the game. So yeah, definitely a plus. I just wish it was bigger. Beelzebub, his special. I know you were gonna do it. I was kind of waiting for it. Special is Beelzebub. Power combo attack to all enemies. Again, this is a 40 hit neutral or non-attribute special. Nothing crazy in here. He doesn't have the craziest special damage cap boosts or anything like that. Nothing like, Levi or Loug Zeus or anything like that. But it's sufficient in itself. It also restores the HP to all allies. And now I don't remember how much this exactly is. I'm assuming it's a pretty good bit, but I don't. I just haven't checked. But yeah, all of his skills have a certain weakness, basically a weak point boost to them, even though they consistently be non-attribute, which is cool. We talked about his skill 1, Rising Star, being a nice little 8,000 damage cap to all non-attribute damage, and then, whenever one of his skills gets weakness, they get another 5,000 cap, which is cool. Demon Lord Awakening. Whenever taking attribute damage, chance to cut damage from that attribute, minus 5% per hit, max minus 25 resets each wave. So this is similar to, I believe OG Rimuru has this as well. Something like, a damage cut per attribute. I think he gets like an attribute raise every time he gets hit, but this is just a damage cut, which is kind of cool because it'll stack with pretty much every other source. When unit is alive and all allies incapacitated, revive all allies with 100% HP once per west. This is like an innate
Mindscape.
Yeah. Except it's 100 HP, and I don't know when this is going to be the perfect use for it. I mean, I'm assuming it's very useful in arena, absolutely. And having any big team-wide AoE revive is pretty cool. I just don't know of the best place you'd have him being the only one alive. You know what I mean? So in PvE, of course, that's going to be super useful if you're generally new.
Yeah.
And the rest of your units get killed. This will be a free revive for your entire team, which is nice. Yeah, I do really like his damage potential from this. But yeah, why don't we go over his skill cost? Let's go skill cost 0. Go over his magic. So charisma. This is an interesting distinction as to what we see with the arc as well. We'll talk about. Leader's charisma. Strength, defense, intelligence, mind plus 10% for units with a non-human type. Now this says a unit with a non-human type. This doesn't say it has to be all non-human. So I don't exactly know if you have a soldier and you put on stone mimicry, if that'll activate this. I assume so, by the way it's worded, but I just haven't tested. Have either of you tested that?
I haven't.
I mean, the 10% stats isn't like crazy, so I'm not really like that enthralled with it regardless, even if it does work. But it is pretty funny that the last part of that plus 30% for monster units. Not to be confused with monster types, right? So there's a distinction here. Monster units are the free farmable monsters that we have in the game, such as DXR, Carol, Bizarre, Gobble, all that. Yeah, Sahagin, Pockle, Skelly Boy. Those are the monster units, as opposed to monster type, which is going to be different from the arc. So only those units are going to get that plus 30% boost, which isn't really that usable for all content. I mean, yeah, maybe if we get some other monster only stuff where he's can be used, sure, it might come into play. And they of course need that stat help because their base stats are super low. But yeah, he can't even be used in Dark Palace, pretty much the only place where they're mandatory. So
I think it's
cool canonically. That's all.
It's cool canonically. I guess if I had to do some extra speculation, we're getting that random monster event revamp going on. Not sure, and probably a very low chance that's promising for anything here. Just a weird little coincidence that there's this little emphasis on monsters around the same time. But just throwing it out there.
And I think it's interesting. I think canonically it fits really, really well.
Canonically, for sure.
I mean, if you've seen the anime, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just like for Last Cloudia game meta-wise and how effective it is in overall gameplay, it's really not.
I don't see myself ever using that charisma.
Yeah, I probably will turn this off almost all the time.
Yeah,
just because even, I don't. Even if I don't have anyone else using charisma, I don't feel like it's needed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Full potion though. Full potion though is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys know this, but like this is one of the only things in the game that essentially has a minimum heal of pretty much 9,999, even if you have 0 mind. The mathematical healing formula for this essentially gives it a minimum range of 9,939 to a maximum range of 9,999. So like if you even have 0 mind, which is normally affects healing spells, it doesn't matter. Even in places where healing is lessened, because I think the effect of those, like I don't know, like grudge stages, or no, not grudge stages, but whenever healing's lessened, it's essentially dropping your unit's mind. This will just negate that completely.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah. This is pretty much always going to heal for 9,999. And again, it's non-time stop. It is a single target spell. Sure, it is 35 MP for
That's a
one.
lot.
It's a lot. But it's useful in pretty much anywhere. You don't even need to level up any healing at all. It's just going to straight up cap out. So that's kind of cool. And I think that's canonically straight up. That makes a lot of sense if you've also seen the anime. And it's the strongest, pretty much the strongest heal you can possibly get without having anything invested into it. Kind of cool.
It is extremely new player friendly, because that is one thing that a lot of people are going to struggle with when they're first starting the game, is your healing spells are going to suck. Yep. You just don't have the stats and the units built for them to really do anything. But this makes it so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And for general progression, all that kind of stuff, it's going to be great. For endgame stuff, am I ever going to use this? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. These two things are just like, cool flavor, just nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about his skills. So we see MP up max, Arcane up, Fighting Spirit. Like we talked about intelligence-based physical DPS. This Arcane up makes sense. He gets a nice crit, aim vitals. Creature Mastery is interesting. Of course, he is creature type, so he gets physical attacks effective on spirits. Damage from spirits minus 10%. Basically, gets a free Spirit Slayer, and then minus 10% damage from them. And also, when taking magical damage, chance to recover 50% of damage as HP, which I'm going to look up really quick because I forget the chance of that. Auto Aura and Wisdom Protection obviously makes sense since he's an intelligence-based DPS. Auto Aura being for free, and Wisdom Protection adding from his intelligence to defense and mind to the battle start. Let's do Creature Mastery.
Someone else had that recently.
Yeah, it's Shift Goroth has that. 10% chance to absorb 50% of damage as HP. So essentially a 5% damage mitigation from magic and overall. Having auto haste and auto heal. Auto heal is really nice because if he gets less than 30% HP in a non-time stop situation, he'll use 30 MP to give himself a big fat heal. Gale Force, nice to have. 10% recovery speed, SCT recovery speed at max HP. No attribute attack raise 2. No attribute attack raise 3. No attribute critical raise. Goddess Kiss innate, always nice to have if you're going to be running. I mean, he does generally use a bunch of MP, so that makes sense. Thaumaturge Ring is, again, this is a 20% intelligence boost to the damage calculation on skills and regular attacks. So this will help because he's an intelligence-based DPS at heart. Evil Absorption, when taking physical magical damage, chance to recover 50% of the damage is HP. This is a 20% for either one of them. So now you're looking at a 10% overall damage mitigation from physical or magical attacks. Pretty much on average. Blessed Speed, nice to have. Double Impact, okay. This is also clarification. This does not affect Goddess Kiss at all. The pursuits and impacts do not affect it at all. So if you're trying to get back Goddess Kiss, procs for MP, nothing to do with it. Giving sword boost and sword mega boost innately is just nice to have. Obviously that cat boost and that physical damage boost, just straight up for using swords. Sweet. Quick trigger, free stock at the beginning of each wave. For random one of your 3 skills. Decoy, nice. Cloak of Majesty, just making him a little bit beefier. Predator, I find this unique buff very interesting, so we're going to start getting into his unique stuff. Predator is funny because if an enemy, defeating an enemy with a strength buff, strength defense, intelligence, mind buff, this generally doesn't happen most places in PvE. But where this is going to happen is PvP. So you're probably going, and I don't know if he's that capable in PvP, but like when you do kill an enemy, let's say you kill a Shift Gorm, for whatever reason you end up killing a Shift Gorm, you get his you basically get his fort buff.
Good lord.
For 25% defense. If you're killing anyone with fast Matisse or, fast Aura, fast Brave, which he has on Aura, doesn't matter. This does proc a generic icon, so it's not going to stack with your auto auras, your fast Braves, all that kind of stuff. But it will refresh the buff or replace it if it's higher. So nothing crazy here. I do think this is a nice little flavor to his kit, being the Predator itself and stealing the stat buffs from enemies. So kind of cool. In practice, not all that relevant, but gonna be useful in some situations.
I wish it was the high version instead.
I also just straight up get that. I also wish it was dealing like Stinky, right? You steal the actual amount.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
You steal the actual amount of the debuff or the buff they had. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. Because once she gives a debuff to an enemy, she steals that actual stat change. So if you're killing a high drain on a defense for minus 35% defense, and the enemy has like 10,000 defense, like one of the big walls, she gets that 3,500 defense, which is hilarious. If anyone's ever like played around with that and seen it. Thought acceleration, I do like this. I love that it's another way of getting SCT back. Every 5 seconds, use 10 MP to restore 1 second SCT for all skills. So this is essentially a 20% SCT regen, stackable with auto haste. And yeah, it costs MP, sure, but it's just going to be more and more SCT, which I always like. Mind this. If you're not planning on, if you're using like a Dusk build and you want full MP, you'd probably want to turn this off for like PvE content. If you're trying to make him beefy, because this will, negate that full MP unless you regen it back.
Yeah, guys, don't forget you can turn skills off.
Yeah, you can
when
literally
they're not useful.
You don't have to use this.
Right.
Enhanced resistance is cool. I think this is the first time we've ever seen straight up plus 100% status ailment recovery speed. I like that a lot. And then you essentially get a double godly body.
Yeah.
It doesn't say it here, but when a basic status ailment is healed by an active skill, resistance for the healed ailment +1. This can happen twice for him for each ailment. So keep it in mind. He will get resistance based on that. And again, this is only basic status ailments. Notably, the enhanced resistance is all status ailments as a recovery speed, but when a basic status ailment is recovered from an active skill, that means when someone heals him, not necessarily running out or when someone cures him, not running out from natural causes, he will get that +1. So that's an important distinction.
Yeah, similar to the same distinction between healing and Proud Force heals, right? You can.
Yep.
Yeah, or I'm sorry, not Proud Force. Is it Proud Force? Am I thinking Proud Force? Yeah. Okay.
And talking through his kit, I mean, as you can kind of see, there's not like the craziest damage mitigate or damage production out of here, but it doesn't need to be, right? He's non-attribute. He's not going to be resisted ever, and he's a physical DPS at heart. So he has some solid damage, though, dude. We're gonna jump into some lobbies with not some lobbies with him, but for
I'm down.
We'll jump into here real quick.
I was thinking of Spirit Breath. Spirit Breath doesn't work off of Proud Force heals. You have to have active heals. Mm-hmm. Same thing with that enhanced resistance.
Yeah. And we're gonna bring Tink and Theo and just group them up and do some stuff because I want to see his big PB Brox.
I like seeing that.
So since we're here already, why don't we talk about his paids? Because I chose not to get one because I think his armor is not good at all in any scenario that I'd ever be using him in.
I don't either.
So
nope.
I don't think we even need to talk about it, to be honest.
Sounds good to me.
His Demon Lord Rimuru's code is probably the only one I'd get. Plus 1,000 damage cap, damage plus 10%, continuous brave effect, all 80 strength, 47 defense,
solid.
all very good on an accessory. as well as having 5 resistance to the elements, to the 4 basic elements, and stun resist. Very good accessory.
Very nice.
Very good. Again, nothing game breaking, but like if you want damage cap, if you want some continuous brave, and then an extra damage plus 10%, yeah, dope. Notice this says damage plus 10%. This doesn't mean physical damage, magic damage. This is straight up all damage plus 10%.
Yep.
It also does not mean only non-attribute or only an element. Like, this is everything, which is cool.
That is dope.
Yep.
It's like 12 SC or so plus the damage cap. It's pretty nice.
Nice. I don't have him max SC yet because I'm working on him a little bit. I know, slacker, right?
What? Tweak?
Jeez.
Yeah.
What do we even have you for?
Just the worst, I'll tell you what. But we're gonna throw in some slayers on him, just like we normally do with these types of enemies. Pirate's Feast, I obviously do not need. But we should be gapping pretty hard. Yeah, Berserker.
Perfect for his mage build.
Got it. Did say the only reason he was coming to this podcast was so I could show him how to build him as a mage.
Beautiful.
You don't. You get the other one, and you use that, and then you fail, and you just quit.
Mm-hmm.
I will give a shout out though. Zero posted a thing in hardcore chat. Did you guys see that?
I haven't yet.
With him using the icicle shot in PvP. I mean, I don't know how good I don't even recognize the enemy team's name, so I don't know how good they were, but it was pretty funny. I might have to try that later.
Didn't he
for
get, like, buffed?
OD Rim. Yeah, I mean he got
buff.
he got a 100% damage cap buff or damage boost to magic.
That as well.
Yeah.
Rimaru.
But anyways, right, let's talk about this Rimuru. So we're gonna just look at how his skills work. His S1 is so good, man. All right, so Council 10. Of course, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna get some skill stocks. We're gonna go run around and shoot them. All right, so I'm gonna aim at the far boss. Pew, S1 all the way over it. Which I don't know if you saw that, but it was a beam.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool. Gluttony. Let's go look at Gluttony because Gluttony is pretty cool. Gluttony needs to be line of sight and pretty close. It says medium range, but it is
pretty close.
It's not it's not right on top, but it is pretty close, right? And Megidio is. I wish this entire friggin' map, but I guess we'll just have to see that this is non-line of sight. We'll tag these. Notice how it doesn't hit the boss.
Galbor.
Right, still missing him.
It's very small.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why it looked so big in the actual reveal trailer.
Bluff, bro.
They're zoomed in a lot more.
They were, right?
Yes. And again, we can have that little depth perception, right? Because I'm using full screen LC, so you can get a really good indication on how big it is and where the hitbox is. I think that last little bit right there, those last couple, or right before the last couple, that we're aiming at an enemy very close to the boss, and it's not hitting them. Super confusing. Like I said, it's a smaller AoE than XBAT in her S3, which is a pretty good AoE, sure. But I would honestly put the AoE as like Loug Zeus S2.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which, again, that's not a small AoE, but
it's not bad.
It's surprisingly big for what we think of it as. And that's about the same AoE.
I'm gonna retitle.
Why don't we go look at his Wait, what? Don't get out of here. I don't get crypt out of here. Why don't we look at let's see. The alt. Oh, this is kind of fun. I do like the alt animation. Beelzebub.
Is it Beelzebub or Beelzebub?
Beelzebub.
Beelzebub?
Yep. I mean, I could absolutely be wrong, but that's how I've always pronounced it. So let's look at it. This is cool. Shoo.
Yeah. I imagine it makes more sense if you've watched the anime.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of Zuglis's a little bit, but like, yeah, it's nothing crazy. It is 40 hits though, which is nice. I don't have him spec for that, so I get it.
This guy.
Trash.
Beelzebub.
No, that's definitely wrong.
I don't know, man.
But yeah.
That makes a little more sense.
Okay, should
than
we do max damage with
Beelzebub.
him real quick? Yeah, let's do max damage with him real quick. The one thing about using enablers with him is that all his stuff is all non-attribute. So he's not gonna get the boost from Sarah's ult at all. So your best damage enablers are gonna be Expet and Tinkili for that 3k for her and 5k for Tinkili on his skills.
Fair enough.
So why don't we just go run second, and we'll see how, because he does hit very hard. Like, don't get us wrong. He hits extremely hard. If you haven't built for endgame stuff, he will hit very, very hard.
Yeah, I think
So
the main disappointment is just because Roy exists.
Dude, that damn S3, man.
That's it. And
I mean,
our expectations.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Guys are spoiled.
Not spoiled, just have... I mean, honestly, not even that high of expectations. Like,
Spoiled.
all right, whatever.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Got some
So we're gonna use
interesting facts.
S3.
Yeah, that's not
I
bad
mean,
at
yeah.
all.
It's not bad at all. At all. But again, I am centering them. I'm grouping them up. I'm using max caps and all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm doing a lot of things endgame wise to show off his DPS that most people will not have.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He doesn't have the fastest DPS. He doesn't have the fastest single target. He has some pretty good AoE. He is non-attribute. That's huge moves, dude. Huge moves.
Yeah, it's like super armor. It's just an immediate edge over the entire roster of characters to be
Really
no
is.
attribute.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about the arc? Since we're getting to not wrong button. Natural. Let's talk about the arc, because that is like recommended Harvest Festival, because I don't have it leveled up yet. We'll talk about it here. So then we can move on to the other units in the collab so far. But as for the arc, the Harvest Festival, nothing crazy in the stats. Strength 343, Mind 294, Defense 287. Pretty generic. Nothing outlandish here. The arc's interesting because the trait, it says creature type only. I don't know if this cancels out whenever you add an mimicry, but obviously this works directly along with Rimuru, who is a creature. So skill damage plus 25%, add god type to user. This of course would make it, if I'm thinking correctly, the god type would cancel it out. So don't disregard me. If it's a creature type, you get that skill damage plus 25%. Silence / curse resistance +1, always nice to have. Just ailment resistance. For each monster type that an ally has, skill damage cap plus 200. So this is what we were talking about before with his charisma. This is a different distinction than monster unit. This is called a monster type. In the definitions of the game, a monster type is anything that is non-human. Okay? So we have 16 types in this game. 4 of them are human. So that means there's 12 possible monster types in this game. Unfortunately, out of the units and mimicries that we have, we cannot achieve insect and bird types. So that 200 damage cap can max out at 10 different typings, which is going to be 2,000 damage cap for skills only. So keep that in mind. It's only at the very max so far that we have a 2,000 damage cap boost to skills. Meanwhile, this has to be that an ally has. I don't know if this can work for them specifically, because we do have things that say that for allies and stuff that I think it might be inclusive of him as well.
Sometimes ally means team.
Yeah.
Sometimes ally means actual allies.
Mm-hmm. And we'll wait for Lake's distinction on that. But if you had to bring a support and throw some mimicries, a bunch of mimicries like we do, kind of what you can with Blaze Garden to get damage mitigation, kind of that scenario, you would be gaining some damage cap for every single typing that's not human. But learnables, these are kind of cool. We do get Pose of Glory and Magic of 4, which are solid. Reincarnation, honestly, I never even use this. I think this is pretty weak because it's at battle start. If a unit is incapacitated, obviously, that's a battle start, so that's a successive wave where they have been dead the wave before. They'll get revived, which in most scenarios is not really that useful. Maybe like things like tower, sure, but you'll grow out of this. You'll spell very quickly. Evolve Blessing is interesting because this is like an extremely good revive. Revive an incapacitated ally and restore HP 30%. So they essentially, we have a resurrection that revives people to 10% HP. This revives to 30% HP, and then we have things like High Resurrection and Miracle Fluid that revive to 50% HP. So this is in the middle of those. But it also boosts your damage, your HP cap by 10% and restores HP. So it gives you a big fat heal, as well as boosting the overall HP cap by a percentage, not a cap. So if you only have 10k cap, it's only going to boost you 1k overall. But if you have 20 or 30k, it's going to boost you a 2k or 3k cap. Which, again, for most scenarios, it's not really that relevant. A lot of people generally build between 10,000 and 15,000 health for most units. So you're probably expecting 1,000 to 1,500 HP cap boost. Demon Lord Awakened. This is interesting because I think we'll see use from this later on, right? It seems kind of counterintuitive, but in the future it might actually have some use. So what this says is strength/intelligence plus 10%. That's just flat. Strength intelligence plus 10%, sick for 6 SC. Battle start, Blazer/Lastoma effect on unit. Now, why would they put a strength down or a intelligence down if they're giving you strength and intelligence? My thought process is maybe in the future we'll have some unit or even ability that will be synergistic with getting a debuff at the beginning or being debuffed at the beginning of a wave. So counting on that might be useful. I don't see much use for it outside of that, except if you're expecting this unit to die right away, and then just to lose those buffs and then jump right back up and have that strength intelligence plus 10% flat out. So I'm not sure the exact use of this, but we might find a use for this later on. Not the best skill right now, but also giving it Ice Stack Raise 2 on it. We haven't had this before, of course. Ice Stack damage plus 30%. This is again like one of those Ice Stack Raises are luxury skills. If you have the space for it, great. But if not, they're not really high priority. So useful nonetheless. Some good skills. The Raphael Cloth, the AER, being an accessory, giving 60 intelligence, 40 MP, 60 mind, boosting recovery magic, and subtracting 1 from the MP use of recovery magic. Sure, not bad. Nothing crazy here. Similar to the Sun God Nagatama AER from the Sarah UR arc, the Amaterasu.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to that. I don't think it's crazy. I wish it had higher MP, honestly. But yeah, the fact that it's an accessory with MP, Intelligence, Mind, and then pretty fat recovery magic boost, as well as dropping MP. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, the arc's not nothing. None of this stuff is broken needs to be chased. That's the beauty of it, right? If you want to sim for this for Demon Lord Rimuru, go right ahead. He's not going to disappoint generally, and he's going to be a very good unit on your account. That's all I can say.
I agree.
I
agree. His only downfall was the curse of comparison.
The curse of comparison?
The curse of comparison.
Yeah. And for people who don't have Xpet or Roy or anyone with a big AoE, yeah, he's going to be awesome.
For sure. For sure.
I just get to, because I do have everything in the game, I do get to compare them with the other units and the other mechanics that units have. So it's a little bit different of a mindset. And I realize that, but what are you gonna do?
It's good that you realize that, Tweez.
What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Should we get into what else happened for the units?
You talking about the other two
booths,
units go into the gym?
Yeah.
AER?
What?
Did you talk about the AER?
We did.
Okay.
Yes. Where were you?
I was getting yelled at.
He was fixing his mic.
No, I was getting yelled at. I actually didn't do anything with my mic.
No?
That's funny.
That's good.
All right, let's talk about the other units because obviously, from what you said, I was been pretty hype with OG Milim, and I did end up 5th enhancing her and maxing out her skill tree. But let's talk about OG Milim or OG Rimuru first, since we're on the topic. I don't have the buffs pulled up, but essentially, they finally put in his description of what even means conditions to be
Oh,
set,
that's
or
funny.
conditions to be corresponded with, right?
Oh.
These have always been a thing. They just finally decided to write it out, which is big news.
It is big news. It kind of scares me that it's a scrollable trait as to what is coming in the future, but I'm not going to think about that.
I mean, it does.
He's
it's
from
super.
August 2020, dude.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's always been like that. We just couldn't see it.
They
That's
just
right.
have never actually put it into writing. All it said was during battle meet conditions below, or meet specific conditions for the chance to get buffs or something like that. It's almost pretty much all it said. None of this stuff was there.
I
Interesting.
think they just didn't have the room, and they were sticking to their we don't want to give away all the secrets. We want to have that classic JRPG game.
And they were like, you know what? It's too complicated. Let's let him have one. But yeah, it's cool. Like, he gets a bunch of different buffs, and depending on the situation, sure. One thing that I will say is being essentially a physical DPS or mage, neither role he's incredible at. Mage, he's more tuned to being a mage. And especially with being 5th enhanced, he gets a huge 100% skill and magical attack damage bonus. I think this is big for him because he really lacked a lot of damage multipliers in his kit. I think that was one of the best enhancements he could have gone, just straight up flat damage boost. But yeah, he doesn't have like the meta caps or anything like that. He's just a pretty good attribute attacker. And he has conversion, sure, not the greatest conversion. He also gets 20 SET regen on his ult, which is cool. And he has some unique magic and icicle shot, which is useful. Let me sort by skill class so we can see that. Ice javelin. Ice javelin is not neat. Icicle shot is.
How many hits?
It gives him a little extra 2,000 cap. I don't remember.
Oh.
It's pretty quick though. It's quicker. So you've seen me use the Shift Eliza spell,
Of
or not the Shift Eliza
course.
spell, the Ultra Fire spell. This is quicker than that. It's pretty damn samable. Nothing like cast canceling sample like you could do, but it's not bad. And especially with his new magic buff, pretty much magic damage boost, you can hit pretty hard with it. But OG Rimuru, again, nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Nope, nothing crazy.
How did you put it? The popoi of
The Popoi of
slime?
the collab, yeah, pretty much.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Shout out to the cat in the chat, by the way.
There's a cat in the chat. Very nice.
It's a cat in the chat.
I think the biggest winner of the 5th enhanced buffs was Milim. One thing she lacked because of where she stood in the game, her physical DPS was lacking. She lacked a lot of caps. She could get flinched very easily out of her skills. She also lacks some hit count on a couple of her skills, but that's not as important anymore. Why? Because of her 5th enhance, she gained not only 6,000 cap on her trait 1 and 30% dark attack damage, but also super armor. When using a skill, can't be interrupted by most attacks. This means
Delicious.
during her skills, she's most likely not going to get interrupted by enemy skill or magical damage. And of course, there's an actual threshold to that, but that's amazing.
Indeed.
Yeah. Any unit with, like we talked about with Shift Landspell, with Roland, with Baron, any unit that has super armor gets an instant jack up a leg up in the in the battles that you're using, because those units feel better because they're not getting interrupted 24/7. Especially if you don't have like a barrier up or flinch resistance up, it feels really, really good. Not only that, with that 6,000 damage cap, some of her skills got specific damage cap boosts. Or for her S1, and while it's only 3 hits, 6 dual wield, it did get a 4,000 damage cap boost, sure. S2 being 13 hits innately, 26 dual wield, no damage cap boost. But her S3, which is a warp, which is a 12 hitter, 24 dual wield, got 8,000 damage cap alone. That puts her total damage cap between the 8,000 here, the 6,000 in her trait 1, and the 5,000 in her Demon Lord passive, up to 19,000 damage cap straight up on her S3. Along with the 10,000 she gets. So she's sitting at a base 29,000 damage cap on her S3. As a unit from August of 2020. That's pretty damn good. So her skills aren't the fastest again. But she does do very, very well now. Like, I mean, and that's all she needed, right? She needed damage cap. She needed the ability to not get interrupted. And they gave it to her. But I think it's really cool. People who have had her for a while will break her out off the bench and start using her, like I have specifically. He's extremely useful during the Charybdis battle because he's fire and dark weak. Like, I'm sorry, perfect. And you know, we speak this. I'm excited about her. I think she's much better, much better than she used to be. Is she worth, like, you know, jumping on right now and spending on that banner? No, absolutely not. She's not going to be a meta DPS. She's just way better than she used to be. Way better. So if anyone has her already and is going to break her out and use her again, just have some fun with her. Because her 5th enhance is actually pretty good. But yeah, not bad. Of course we could see them in action, but like we don't have to go do the battle.
You've done some nice flex videos on your channel, so the people can go check it out.
Yeah, and I did one little short of her getting 48,999 wheeled caps. I know, with full enablers, XBet, and the whole works.
The full enabling is just fun to watch.
49k dual wield.
No matter who it is.
1.1 million damage, no big deal.
No matter who it is.
It's pretty fun, but yeah, she is going to be outdated a little bit. But that super armor, that damage cap boost, very nice.
Would you say? Because I had someone ask me, they had just started an account. They didn't really get anything, but they re-rolled with Milim. I didn't get the sense that they were like a re-roller. They're just going. I didn't think Milim was a terrible unit to start out with.
I mean, yes or no, right? That's like similar. Honestly, that's similar to the situation of whether or not you would start out with like a shit with a base Roland. Honestly, are they going to be good for your account? Sure. Are they going to last a long time and be, you know, carry you through all the hardest content as we get even more difficulty? Probably not.
Okay.
I would way much rather get Demon Lord Rimuru on a reroll.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you're simping for Milim, just wait a week.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I just have a gut feeling, which is never good, right? I'm literally not taking the lesson to be learned here with how we expected too much from Rimaru's S3 here.
Yeah.
But I just can't help it, right? I just have a feeling about Shift Milim coming next week, especially if her buffs, right, her OG form buffs are indicative of any type of performance in a current modern day Last Cloudia. I'm excited.
Right. I don't disagree. I'm excited to see what comes out next week, because like you have to think it's got to be something good. Although temper your expectations, like I did not with Demon Lord Rimuru, but you know,
I think a lot of the community did not.
So here's the thing. I think we should go over. You know, we have that 9K paid step up gacha, right, for the old stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't do this at all. Nothing is worth the high value like Honey Elixir was back in the SOM collab. Absolutely nothing. There are some things that you might be able to. Yeah, sure. The Veldor arc has, Tempest Dragon's Blessings, good Life Braves.
I was gonna say the other arc is it
and name giving. Sorry, what?
Are the arcs guaranteed at all, or is it just the unit?
The arcs as well.
Or this gives you a ticket to pick between the 4.
Oh,
it's the same thing as the SOM, the SOM rerun step up. So you spend 9k pay gems, which is essentially $100, and you can pick from one of these 4. This one, okay, not a bad arc, but like not worth $100. Come on. Milim, Rimuru. If you feel like guaranteeing yourself and you really, really want to get them, okay, like they're buffed now, but like, not really worth it. The Conquer Flames, sure, as an arc. I'd
spend $100 on that. I wouldn't even think about it.
Well, first of all, you're a Shift Eliza simp, so I get that. As you've seen, if anyone's been watching my content, I do use this spell quite often when I'm using Shift Eliza, and it is very good on her.
You do,
but
indeed.
like nothing really else in the arc. I mean, this is the only place we've seen Fire Shield, and I never use Spirit Efreet like this passive right here. I never use it at all. So just interesting. The Arc Ether reward also isn't that bad, but I believe this is a 15% chance to make magical damage go to 1. Cool for Arena. Not really that applicable overall. But nothing is broken as Honey Elixir in this arc. I would never chase any of this. But if you feel like you want any of it, sure, it's going to cost you 9,000 pay gems, and you can do it twice if you feel like it.
$200.
But yeah, $200 to max it out. I definitely wouldn't do any of it, but I'm not everyone. Yeah. Why don't we talk about the event? The incredibly immersive and story-packed event. Kidding. There's literally no story.
Not even an
which
intro
is kind of sad.
Cutscene this time.
From what I got, the gist of any of the information that I have, the collab itself was not necessarily rushed, right? But not fully like.
Didn't go through the same processes that they usually do.
Yeah, that's from what I understand.
When's usually? I'm just saying the last couple have been pretty.
Listen, here's the
lackluster.
thing. We judge every other collab based on what collabs. DMC and Stone, pretty much, right?
Even the first slime.
Was better. First slime had some good ones, but this is essentially just another. I want to say Valentine's event, but like this doesn't even have the Sun Vessel Island for other events even had. Like, it's just an event menu. You do some quests, and you use the trading space. I mean, yes, there's Event Alchemy, which is extremely hard to do because we can't even get the resources like bountifully, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, not the most immersive event. I was hoping for more as well, even though I'm not like a huge lore or story fan. I was just like, this is one of my favorite animes. I would love to see some immersion, but
would have been cool.
Something.
Yeah. No, nothing.
Calvin, I said, look at those teeth.
It's like a whale, bro. Yeah, don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
But you farm the Magicules, you farm the Crypto Scales from multiplayer, and you get battle tickets, and it's a pretty straightforward event, if I'm being completely honest. The only difference between this and that is that this high difficulty challenge, this stuff is all reduxes. This is like remnants from the last event.
That's why
the first
it's
one.
not
So
difficult.
like this is why it's not really applicable to the newest stuff at all. But the stuff that you farm in the Ruler of the Demons, this final hard stage, you're gonna get the most bang for your buck, and then Slay Charybdis, doing the multi only, or these will get you more of these if you want to do it in. Supposedly more of these if you want to do it multi only, and it also gives you the option of everyone getting stuff instead of doing it by yourself in the other ones. We also have
15 as the Room Master bonus for being the host.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Very worth.
Very much worth. You get a bonus otherwise. one thing we do have this event is also repel rewards, which the repel rewards are not as like crazy boosted as they were in the AOT collab. So like I'm not even trying very hard on this, honestly.
Okay, yeah. Can we talk about this though?
And how ridiculous the count is? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I didn't understand.
I don't really understand either, and I don't know why it's so high. Especially like
because
day one, like we didn't even
every
make.
Kill.
I get it, but
we didn't even.
There's no inclination from the people who have like looked at the event and been like, I want to go after that. There's nothing that says I want to go after this at all.
I mean,
these materials can all be farmed from the event. Okay. This stuff it has a limit in the shop, but you can get enough. I don't know if you can get enough, but you should. Between all days, we should be able to get like the first and second rewards a lot of the days. We should be able to get enough to use them in alchemy and max out all the equips. So this doesn't have, and I don't mind that it doesn't have the biggest priority to farm, because it lets you relax. I'm not saying we have to relax, but it does let you if you don't.
Very true. Very true. Especially after the attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan Collab was like, go, 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 use all your orbs 100% of the time. Like, yeah. Because, I mean, for anything in the, and why don't we go over the trading space real quick? For anything in the trading space, you're going to be using these, which are both farmable from both the event quest, which are the left one, these magicules, and the right from the actual battle ticket quest for these scales. So, you're going to be able to get these without doing any of the actual repels. Or concentrating on repels. Not only that, you do get 150 of the magic ores. I don't know how much, or you can buy out 150 of these. I don't know how much each of the trading the alchemy stuff costs. I believe it's like 2 per level, right? So you're not going to get enough to max them all out, but you should be able to
do what, 3 pieces and some.
I mean, yeah, like it's I haven't maxed any of them yet, so I can't attest.
Yeah.
But you should be able to do at least a couple. Hopefully we get bonus rewards and the shop resets and stuff. And I don't know. Who knows? I just hope we're able to get all of it. But the repel rewards are definitely very confusing. Are you guys on your game right now?
I am.
Yeah. Okay, you guys want to run one of these?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'll bring.
I'm not bringing this guy.
No, don't.
I'm gonna bring.
I'm gonna bring him.
I'm gonna bring my best
I'll
boy.
The best boy. We'll do one with him, and then I'll bring Milim the next time.
Are you using Council of 10?
I'm gonna be using Council of 10. I have it level 10, so I'm gonna give everyone a skill stock.
Sounds good. Oh, right. It does give us a skill stock, but it doesn't charge our skill stocks to full like yours.
No, it only gives you 1 each.
It gives us.
So you'll have the first opportunity to use a skill, then you can do whatever you want.
Got it.
After that.
Okay. Well, let me see all these. Do I need to add you as a friend?
You do. I'll add you real quick. I actually have it here.
You do?
So don't worry about saying it out loud.
Do I have?
You came prepared today.
I do have space.
I had been prepared. I just forget that I actually have it. I just literally copy and paste.
All right. Well,
But yeah, so we're fighting a big old Charybdis, which is a big old boss, and
so
set your friend request, so you should be able to join. Choo-choo. Oh, the cat in the chat also agrees that the requirement is pretty absurd.
Talking to the big boys. Okay, cool. They have been known to make adjustments to the Slayer goals.
Here's my question though.
Mid collab.
Here's my question. So does it count for the multiplayer one? So right, like if you kill it once with a whole party of multiplayer, does it only count for one, or does it count for each one of your repels?
Pretty
for
sure
everybody.
It counts for each one of you.
It still seems low. Like the way that we're at 16,000 right now for the entire day. It's
no
still
one's doing it.
It's fair. I'm not even doing it.
It's not fun.
There's
like you said, there's very little incentive to actually grind it, and it's not engaging.
Yeah,
and I feel like for a majority of the people who would have like the I guess, drive to be doing it, they're not able to. Like, they're just not strong enough because it's going to be mostly the newer players that are like, oh, yeah, let's do this. And then they're like, I can't do this.
Yeah, no, I feel you. All right, fair enough.
That's
That's
a reasonable chain of logic you have there.
Wow, it's amazing.
Usually is.
Wow, you guys are going to like literally shit on this battle. I'm not even able to do anything.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's my preparation for this, right? So he is Dark Week. Dude, are you going to use your stance?
Of course.
For being fire?
Yes.
Makes sense.
Come on.
My homie, Demon Lord Rimuru, does not have the DPS power that those two units have at all.
Nope.
The spammability. Like, this is... I'm going to try to make him look good, and he's going to cap. You're not going to see my caps, because their damage is going to be absurd. So thank you for just overshadowing this entire battle.
You're welcome. I've been actually having a lot of fun taking... I can't even remember what that UR arc is that you guys have equipped, but I've been using that and dropping 4 of my S3s on it, and it drops it to like more than or less than half health. It's just been so great.
All right, yeah, I'll use next one. Or council. So we all get stocks, and then I'm just gonna use S3. Oh, you would use an arc skill.
It's Panda. Come on, bro.
I know. Yeah, you guys are just...
What are you talking about?
You got the killing blow, though.
Get wrecked, nerds. So like I was hitting what 30,789, and of course we have Tink here, so she's getting a little bit of boost as well.
Rimaru better than Ardeen.
I could have gotten 5k more cap on his S1 because the S1 is he's actually Fire Week, so we could have gotten 5k more cap there, but it's not a big deal.
You did great, Twax. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much, sir.
You got the killing blow, so.
I did, and I got, like you said before, 15 Rune Master. So if you're going to be doing this at all on the God version, this is a guaranteed 15 if you're hosting. Nice. Why don't I run Milim? Let's run Milim with it, because she's actually very fun in this. Hello, little lady. Where are you? Let's give you your cat back because you need it.
I'm excited to see Milim.
Let's make sure she's Creature Slayer. Good. She should be good then. Okie dokie.
Let's do it.
Going in. She has some solid DPS, so she'll be capping at like what I have her at is like 36k, I think it is. I have on her S3, and then like 28k on her S2.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And I will say her S3, the only uninterruptible part of it is the very beginning for Super Armor. But her S2 is the entire thing for Super Armor. Like, while she's spraying out hits. So that's extremely cool. Mr. Panda.
I know, we're waiting for...
Coming up.
Listen, pandas are a sleepy breed.
Yeah,
You're not wrong.
Jeez.
You're not wrong.
What's going on in the chat? What's up, gang?
What did I just see you just do? You have a little...
I wouldn't worry about it. So, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for being here. I know we've got a really nice crowd. I got a sneak peek.
125 people watching right now. That's pretty cool, man.
It's pretty good.
You have built a heck of a community and a heck of a little repertoire.
My friend, they're here for the POWERCREEP podcast.
They're here for you, Buddha. We all know that.
Listen.
They're here for that smooth and sultry voice.
This podcast.
Meanwhile, people just confuse Panda and I literally.
You're not wrong, though.
It's so funny.
That's actually hilarious.
All right, let's roll. Damus, we'll see who has the higher strength. I don't know who has the higher strength between me and Ardeen.
It should be Milim. She's still one of the highest. But
probably.
We'll see. I don't know if Buddha spec'd for strength.
No, I didn't. But it's fine.
Find out.
I spec pretty hard in strength, so. Yeah, I do. I got it. Nice. Thank you for an extra 3 cap.
Take it, bro. Take it.
So we're going to go 1, and then we're going to go S2. We're going to go S2 and sit through this. I'm hitting 39. Yeah, it's pretty good damage. I know we can't even see who's hitting what, but trust.
I don't know.
It's good damage. Just trust. Yep, she's solid, man. And again, if you want to compare her to units like Ardeen, Loug Zeus, like, wait, just don't. Like, Levi, just don't.
Anything that came out after her, pretty much.
Yeah. She's super good for, being a very old unit. Pretty cool.
I still feel like her SC saves are too far,
too far gone.
She doesn't get a lot outside of her just straight up damage that she just got.
Yeah. They leave a lot to be desired.
I do still really like her her trait 2 giving that, at 20 hits get 50% damage less for like combo attacks against, because you can stack it's not Maglion shield, it's what is that skill?
A damage reduction?
Yeah. Here, let me go on a shift core because I know I got it attached. It is. Oh my god, where is it?
What's going on, bro?
We're looking for that one skill.
Yeah.
Yes, that one skill. I know.
Anti-chain damage.
narrows
Here we
it
go.
down.
Here we go. When taking combo attack, reduce
actually know
damage
that
as hits increase. This stacks with her trait 2. Not saying it's worth 12 SC, but like, it's not bad.
I don't. Where does that even come from?
The near collab rip.
Rip.
Rip. Yeah. So, Demon Lord Rimuru, thoughts? Good.
I like him.
Very good unit. He's a very good unit. That's all I can say.
Is he better than Ardeen?
No.
Is he better than 2B?
Questionable.
Questionable.
I would say no.
Yeah,
Panda would
maybe
say
not.
no.
Maybe not the
I mean,
DPS potential, but he has range, so like that has some merit to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like she has...
Oh, and again, you're comparing to 2B, who at max potential has extremely high DPS.
Exactly. Like, he is good. I don't see his DPS comparing to most other units.
The top of the top.
Right.
We're talking the top.
And he doesn't. He doesn't
Yeah.
at all.
New player.
A lot of the things that some of these, and we might take for granted. Well, we may not have the need, but being ranged for skills is very useful for staying out of trouble and for ease of play. Non-line of sight, nuking from afar. It's one of the biggest reasons why people love Roy.
Yeah.
People, Merity especially recently has been awesome. Yeah, okay. Ardeen, especially units like Ardeen and Shift a little bit, Xbet. Being ranged is pretty nice in this game. It's automatically has an advantage against neutral attackers or physical attackers who don't have any range. So I don't know. It's some of merit. Is he the most broken unit in the game? No, absolutely not.
Obviously.
No. Just like I wanted him to be for sure. Like hell yeah. Bring that S3, make it the entire friggin' map,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll talk about it. But
That would have
it's
been
way
great.
smaller than we thought.
What's really
I'm
sad
just gonna-
too is like they could have made his S3 cover the entire map, and he
absolutely could
still would not be able to compete with Roy.
Well,
He'd be an option, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I
He
what
just
I
wouldn't
wanted.
be able to compete because he doesn't have alchemy.
Sure. One of the main things that I was hoping for during this collab was another wave farmer that I could bring into multiplayer instead of Roy, because it does get a little bit boring using Roy every single map
Yep.
to be the most
little?
efficient way to clear. Sarcasm. Yeah. So
Our closest.
I was hoping
option.
for just a side creep, another option.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, he doesn't need to be the broken physical DPS arena unit that Roy is. He doesn't need to be that. But we didn't get it anyways, so it's not really that.
It's a moot
Hopefully
point.
Milim's sick.
Yeah, hopefully.
And hopefully people
We'll
pay
see.
attention and wait for pulling if they are questionably pulling.
Well, if experience has taught us anything,
I don't.
last time this collaboration came around, we had Rimuru drop, and he was okay. And then we had Milim drop, and she was better than him, but she dropped at the same time as another unit that was instantly better than her. And then 2 weeks later, we had another unit drop that was instantly better than Rimaru. And both
So
of
you're
them...
saying if history repeats itself, we'll have 2 very good units coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these two were really never...
Never anything.
Yeah.
That's sad.
To be fair, he
it
may
was.
stay as my home screen for a long time because you know how much I love Like him and Save Zekis have 2 of the best arts. Him, Save Zekis, and Baron are 3 of my favorite arts in the game for like home screen. So he deserves it for a little bit.
I actually really like Ruto.
Fair.
Not mad
He
at
would be a
that.
Chad.
Chad toe. Okay. Well,
Well, did you want to? I know you did in your video, but do you want to flex on your time trial ranking?
I don't really. I'm actually.
I
I'm.
would like to publicly congratulate you for
Well,
getting
thank you,
top 3.
man. I appreciate
Getting some
it.
UR dust, getting top 10. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Top 10. It's a big accomplishment. I feel like we've come a long way.
Yeah, it's a big move for you and for your community, man. People have been backing you for how long? Over a year now.
Yeah, since last November, 2 Novembers
Yeah.
ago. No, I'm sorry, 2
Come a long
Decembers.
way.
2 Decembers ago. Yeah. It's quite crazy. So we've
Pretty
come
funny.
a long way.
I do find it, and I'll finally publicly able to say it. I do find it hilarious that you just like messaged us one day and we're like, "Hey guys, look at this," with like one of the sunglasses emojis on or something like that, and it was like you're like 119. I'm like, what the?
Oh yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, it was probably like a couple, like
Number
what,
one,
3
I'm like,
days.
where, what?
3 days of the collab. Yeah.
Yeah, and people were like, and I know we talked about the Cabaret's podcast. You were saying like, I gave Tweaks my account. I'm like, dude, don't.
That was so funny.
Don't take that away from yourself.
I was telling people I used APKs. I said I gave Tweaks my account. I was having a lot of fun because it wasn't expected. Your boy Buddha.
It was definitely
Listen.
unexpected, and you've come a long way. So congrats to you.
Well,
for sure.
thank you. As a Tweak student, I have to say thank you to my sensei. So appreciate all the help. Panda, you've been there a couple times, I guess.
That was the first one.
Panda has been a great help behind
He really
the scenes
has.
for a very long time.
Yeah.
He's been very knowledgeable about the game, so
No doubt.
cannot rule that out.
Yeah,
Cannot.
I'd say something to Crypt as well, but he's not here, so
I think he's still playing Elden Ring.
he has to be, right?
It's pretty funny.
So, I mean, we'll see what future time trials bring. I mean, if anything, it taught me that RNG mob spawning is a biznatch.
Yeah, so I will say I'm glad you finally realized that. Like, once you get to a point where you figure out your strategy and you know exactly what you want to happen, the next facet of it, the next step is like, will the enemy align for me to have this go right? Because you can set yourself up as well as you can for any of the time trials in the past. Like, I'm talking like, especially the near one. Mob spawns there were super important. But yeah, dude, this one especially, without even having a chance to even retarget an enemy. Like, you couldn't do anything. You just had to wait. So, kind of cool.
Yeah, so I mean, once you get that strategy down and you're min-maxing, it's definitely, I think I sent a message to you one day, it's definitely like a rush of dopamine when you get a new record.
Keep them high
So,
records, yeah.
I
And
see.
everyone goes through that, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone who ranks in the top 10. And
Yeah.
you feel like, you figure out like some little thing that just improves your time either by a good bit or a lot. Either a lot or like even a little bit. You're like, oh my god, I did something. I felt like I achieved something, right?
Exactly.
Kinda
So
cool.
it was a cool experience. Will I sweat that hard ever again? Probably. I do want to get number 1 maybe once in the history. Hopefully you'll stay shadow banned for that long. But,
Probably ever. I mean, honestly, I'll probably say shadow banned forever.
Mr.
If Crypt
Cat,
is still
yes.
shadow banned and he barely even plays the game, like that's like
yeah.
100%.
So,
Like, come on.
Mr. Cat, just do me a solid. Keep Tweak shadow banned for a little longer.
Hey, whoa, hey, whoa,
What?
hey.
What?
Come on, man. I want them your dust too. I'm getting low on Crimson.
Listen, you grind arena, so I don't want to hear
It's true.
it. So yeah, it was fun. We'll see if I have the tools necessary to compete in the next one, because that was another thing. That was the other thing I was gonna say, is that time trials are definitely. I mean, unless you're just LCIQ is through the roof, it's pretty clear when you have the tools that you need and when you don't, for certain things, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
see what the future brings. Fellas.
Next week, Milim. Let's go.
Next week, Milim.
I mean, so that podcast, right? So we're gonna have another weird one, I guess you could say, if you guys want to do it next week when the update happens. This is gonna be another like Sunday, Monday one,
It is?
isn't it?
No.
The 7th is a Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're continuing with this schedule for the collab?
Yeah, I don't know when we're gonna fix that. I really wish they would.
Oh, I can't be doing all that nonsense. Listen, the weekend, this whole like news over the weekend screwed me. Because that is not what I can make videos with my current schedule. So I don't know.
Fair enough.
I hope.
But I mean, just
I hope
expect it. If for anyone out there who's looking to come back for the next podcast, it's probably going to be on. I mean, that's the best time for information, right? Honestly, get it out there. We've had a day to like at least half a day to digest all the new information that's come out and what's testing and stuff. So
Sure.
look for it next week, whenever update day, pretty much.
Yeah, and then of course I'll schedule the stream ahead of time, so you'll see it hopefully go live if you have all notifications turned on, which every single one of you should, right?
Turn the bell on, boy.
Just ding that bell. I don't bombard. Listen, I try to be fair to you. But yeah, I don't think I have anything
It's a
else.
weird schedule.
Yeah, it's an odd one. I thought it was just like a holiday thing, and then we were gonna get back on track.
Oh God,
No,
Barlene
Milim
says
drops
the
on the
schedule.
7th, and then the
Oh,
collaboration
no,
ends on the
Barlene, no. Barlene, fix the schedule, please. What's
Come
going on here?
on, man.
We're all out of sync.
What's
Thursdays were the
happening?
best.
You gonna do your boy Buddha like that? Lady
What he
Buddha's
says.
gonna kill me.
The schedule will continue like this for a little bit.
Come
Oops.
on. All right. Well, I guess I'll conform. Because I have such a pull, Anyway,
Pretty funny.
I think that's funny. I think it's a good time to wrap up the video, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to my co-hosts, as always, for holding it down. Happy that we all got to experience Rimuru on day one and get our little 2 cents in on him. But yes, I think we're all very excited to see what Shift Milim's bringing. And thank you guys again for coming out in Storm. Collab podcasts are always pretty dang hype. So excited to have another one next week and look forward to that. Guys, that's all we got for you this time. Like, subscribe, bell notifications. Turn on all notifications if you want to know exactly when I post videos, when we're going live, etc. And with all that being said, y'all know what we say. Work hard, play harder. See you in the next podcast.